This used to be the kitchen in somebody's house. It's now the entrance to a tunnel that goes deep underground. These men have to be careful as they descend, holding onto small ledges on the sides. What they're after is one of the rarest metals found on Earth, cobalt. And the Democratic Republic of the Congo is the source of more than half the world's supply. Much of it comes from hand-dug, artisanal mines like this one, some up to 60 metres deep. Cobalt is used in the production of lithium-ion batteries, the sort that power your electrical devices, like smartphones and laptops, and also the batteries in electric cars. But these miners, who are too poor to own laptops or smartphones, risk their lives for those who want them.
Over the past year, there have been at least 80 fatalities in these mines. But we also spoke to people who said that many accidents aren't reported, and bodies are just left buried underground.
They don't have any basic tools, safety equipment or protective clothing, nor do they wear face masks to save them from a near-invisible poison.
Inhaling cobalt dust can be extremely dangerous. It can cause a fatal lung disease called hard metal lung disease.
It involves long hours and back-breaking labour for little reward, and for many, it's the only employment around.
Bon, quant à moi, je suis élève. Cette année, je suis à l'école. J'aime pas de l'argent. C'est pourquoi je l'ai fait pour avoir quelque chose pour retourner à l'école. Bon, quand je gagne un peu, je mets petit à petit. Parce que c'est une année de maquis. Après tout cet argent-là, je vais partir avec à l'école.
This is the neighbourhood of Kazulo, in Kolwezi City, in the south of the DRC. Residents discovered cobalt here in 2014 and have since hand-dug hundreds of holes in the ground.
These mines are extremely dangerous because these miners aren't getting any support from the government. They don't have technical training. There aren't supports within these mines.
This region has the potential to be one of the world's richest mining areas. There are dozens of large industrial copper and cobalt mines, but most people live in poverty and scrabble around for a living. It isn't only adults who dig for cobalt. So too do children, earning as little as $2 a day, and they are ripe for exploitation.
The United Nations, which is based in the DRC, says that there are at least 40,000 children working in these artisanal mines in the southern part of the country. How many are working on cobalt as opposed to other minerals, we don't know, but it's clearly a very large problem.
Just arriving now at a place called Marlow. It's a lake where women, and we're told some children as well, wash the ore that comes out of the artisanal mines.
Youngsters like 13-year-old Charles do this because they can't go to school. Many make a charge to cover teachers' salaries, uniforms, or for learning materials. His father, Francois, says that it's hard even to get enough money to eat.
It starts with the miners. They work for themselves or for other miners, maybe wealthier miners or the landowner. After the mining, they fill up their sacks and then they put them on the back of cars or motorbikes and they take them to a market called Masompo. This is a market for minerals outside of the city of Kolwezi. They take them to this market where there are dozens of individual trading houses owned by primarily Chinese businessmen and women.
The local traders sell most of the cobalt to a company called Congo Dongfang Mining, or CDM. It's a wholly owned subsidiary of one of China's largest mineral product manufacturers, Haiyou Cobalt. CDM has its own smelting operation, which processes the ore before exporting it to its parent company in China. Haiyou Cobalt sells its products to component firms in China and South Korea. Those companies sell their products to other battery manufacturers, with the final product, lithium-ion batteries, sold to household names in Japan, Europe and the USA, like Apple, Samsung, Microsoft, Sony and Volkswagen.
We believe that companies have a responsibility to ensure that they aren't in any way profiting from human rights abuses.
Responding to Amnesty's allegations, Heyo Colbolt said,
"Our company has not been aware that any of our legitimate suppliers has hired child labour in their mining sites or operated in unsafe working conditions. CDM has rigorously selected its ore suppliers to ensure the procurement of raw materials through legitimate channels."
LG Chem, one of the world's largest battery manufacturers, confirmed it acquired component metals through this supply chain and says it's now taking active steps to investigate Amnesty's findings. LG Chem supplies Apple with batteries.
Tapping, swiping and pinching have forever changed the way we navigate and experience our digital world.
And the technological giant only commented to us by addressing the broader question of due diligence, saying it was
currently evaluating dozens of different materials, including cobalt, in order to identify labour and environmental risks, as well as opportunities for Apple to bring about effective, scalable and sustainable change.
Sony said,
"We take this issue seriously and have been conducting a fact-finding process. So far, we could not find obvious results that our products contain the cobalt originated from Katanga in the DRC.
Volkswagen said,
"To the best of our knowledge, the cobalt in our batteries does not originate from the DRC.
Samsung said it had no direct links to CDM or Heyo Cobalt, adding,
"It is impossible for us to determine whether the cobalt supplied to Samsung SDI came from the DRC Katanga's mines."
Microsoft said,
"We have not traced the cobalt used in Microsoft products through our supply chain to the smelter level due to the complexity and resources required."
The simple answer is that if Amnesty International can do it, they can do it.
Amnesty is now calling on Apple and other giant technology companies to properly investigate the original source of the cobalt in their products. If it is sourced from the DRC, they and the DRC government should ensure that children are removed from the mines and working conditions for everyone else are made safer.